Well everyone, something amazing happened recently. The Witcher 4 finally had some new information and we got quite a lot of information about it. And the first thing I want to say just straight off the bat is it looks great. It really looks like The Witcher, it looks amazing. I'm going to get into all of that soon, but for this video I'm essentially going to break down 5 key areas that I feel are quite important just in regard to some of the information we got from this video. And the video I'm talking about, just in case you're wondering, is a tech demo that's just been released in partnership with Unreal Engine, where they've shown a bunch of stuff about The Witcher 4, including a bunch of stuff to do with the lore, the location, Ciri, everything, and I'm going to get into all that. But to begin, the 5 areas I'm going to discuss are first of all Ciri and how she looks, everything to do with that, the location, which yes has been confirmed as Kovir, creatures, so the monsters, the general animals we see, how that all looks, performance, just what we know so far about how this could perform. This is a tech demo, bear in mind, and also just a general atmosphere check, or you could say vibe check. Just how it feels in regard to the other Witcher games. So, without further ado, let's just get straight into it. First up, we have Ciri. So the first thing I noticed immediately is her Witcher eyes. We can see that they are very clearly different to Geralt's. They are not yellow. They are sort of blue, or purpley, or kind of light grey blue. And this really is quite a positive thing for those of us that like the lore, because it does seem to show that there is a visual difference between her and the other Witchers, which, if you consider that generally in the lore, from what we know so far, there have not been girl Witchers before, it would make sense that she looks significantly different to Geralt and the other Witchers. So this is a wild theory, but I may as well throw it out there. I feel like Avallac'h could have something to do with this, primarily because of his relationship to Ciri in the books and the games. It would make sense for him to have some role, considering his story is certainly not finished in The Witcher 3, and he's a very powerful elven sage. Could also be Yennefer or Triss, or something to do with one of the mages helping her to get these Witcher mutations. Now, I think this could have a whole thing to do with the world of the NL. I think the Witcher devs know we really want to explore that world. I think it has such a connection to Ciri and the Elder Blood, and could really go into explaining why she doesn't have the Elder Blood, why she would have to get these mutations, all this sort of stuff that we need to understand as players, and it would be a great way to do it in my opinion. Maybe she has lost the Elder Blood, she had to get Avallac'h to help her get these Witcher mutations so she could be strong enough to get them back, and the story is she eventually has to go to the world of the NL and retrieve the Elder Blood, or maybe she went there and it was stolen, or she had to get rid of it so the NL would stop chasing her, so something like that, because maybe there's more interested parties than just Eredin. Who knows? I mean, it's a whole society over there that wants to invade the world of The Witcher and enslave humans. Another thing I noticed that I thought was really cool is if you look at her hood and cloak, it seems that as the player we'll be able to put her hood up and down, which is really cool because obviously we saw in some of the older Witcher 3 trailers, Geralt had a hood and cloak, but we never saw him actually use it, so it's really cool for us to be able to seemingly have this feature. I'm hoping it's not just you go on Kelpie, her horse, and then the hood automatically goes up, or when it's cold it goes up. I hope us as the player will be able to do that. And also in regard to her swords, I'm still pretty sure that the swords she's using are not the ones, unless they've changed the appearance slightly. It's not the sword that Geralt gave her at the end of The Witcher 3 if you chose the Witcher ending, which would essentially canonize that ending. I'm pretty sure it's just a sword that looks quite similar, because if you look at the blades in these screenshots from the previous trailers, you can see it's a bit different. They could have just changed this, but it does seem like it may be a different sword, although it does have some visual similarities. You can see the blade has an actual hole in it, which looks more like her original sword, right? But then you can see that the one she was given by Geralt does not have any sort of hole in the middle, so it's quite different. The next thing is that Ciri's voice actress, I think, is doing a really good job. She sounds like Ciri from The Witcher 3, but a little bit older, which is pretty good, and also just Ciri in general looks amazing. She looks exactly like Ciri, just older. That's my opinion. I know some people have kind of a negative opinion on her appearance, but for me, I think from this trailer at least, she looks really good. The next thing I want to draw attention to is, of course, she's a Witcher, and she also has her Link School medallion, so at least at this point of the game, she's going to be part of the School of the Links, or I imagine the Grand Master of the School of the Links, but we'll see what happens. And I'm going to talk about this a little bit later, but this could possibly be later in the game. Next, location. So we know finally that it is Kovir. We can see the dense forests, the mountains, which would of course be the Dragon Mountains. We can see lots of wildlife. I noticed a few bears in the wilderness and also obviously in the town, which also looks great. We can see lots of interesting stuff with dynamic NPCs. For example, there was one NPC selling fish and he actually gets it out of the stall and gives it to the guy and gets more, and it looks really good. And apparently they've mentioned there's going to be these sort of character interactions that can then set off a chain of reactions. I don't know if this means if Ciri pushes an NPC into another NPC, there could be a fight or something, but who knows, it could be kind of interesting to see that. They go into all the technology and how they're running it, so essentially it won't be incredibly laggy. They've got all this interesting rendering technology where it essentially turns into little blocks the further away it is, and you can look at it and it still looks visually amazing from far away, but it doesn't tax your system. And they're using nanite technology for all the foliage, and they're using the same assets for a lot of the trees, but reordering them so they look slightly different, and it does look really, really cool. And it's really interesting how they're saving all this memory to allow us to actually run the game. And all of it will have its own individual animations even on the trees, and the dynamic lighting apparently will react to the environment, so it will be really, really cool. I also want to mention, I feel like I shouldn't say this, I feel like it was obvious at the time, but of course I've been saying for, I think almost years now, that I think The Witcher 4 will be in Kovir, and that it should be in Kovir. I've made videos on my other channel talking about this, and I thought it would be this not only because of the snow and the Lynx medallion, but it always just seemed like such a cool place to visit. It's a northern kingdom we've never been to, and you know, it's an awesome place. I mean, if you want to know why I like Kovir, you can watch those videos and find out there, but I think it'd be really cool. I'm curious how our decisions will affect that, especially, for example, in The Witcher 3, if you save the mages with Triss, they get sent there. I don't know if it'll just be kind of like, oh yeah, a while ago there was some mages sent here, maybe you can click a button or something like that, but I still think that's pretty interesting. And finally, we have seen Lan Exeter, which is amazing. We finally get to go there. It looks so cool. It looks like a massive city. I can't wait to visit there. This is the winter capital of Kovir and Povis. They say we're in Kovir, but technically it's Kovir and Povis, and Pontvanis is the summer capital. And because if you look at the environment, it's very snowy, unless it's also snowing in summer, I imagine it will be the capital at the time we go there as Ciri, which will be pretty cool too. I also think the amount of NPCs we can seemingly fit into a single area looks quite interesting, because you've got to consider that this is not Lan Exeter that we're looking at right now, right? This is Valdrest, a small town, and there's 300 NPCs sat in the square watching a band play. And just something I wanted to add, which is purely speculation, but I have a feeling, because of the way they used to do the Witcher 3 trailers, where they would show a location like Toussaint, right? Which is in the Oriana trailer, but then we go there in the expansions. I wonder if we will go to Kovir later in the game, and we might start in a different location, like Nilfgaard or something like that. I'm not sure why I feel this way. I just feel as if we don't know anything about the Lynx School, we don't know how Ciri became a Witcher. We might start at that point, but I have a feeling we'll start closer to maybe towards the end of The Witcher 3 and we find out how this actually happened. I would rather see how this happened than just begin as this kind of complete version of Ciri as a Witcher, right? I kind of want to know how this happened, I want to play how this happened. Maybe it will be through flashbacks, they did do that in The Witcher 3 too when you played as Ciri, so who knows? We might just start in Kovir straight away, or we might go there later on, who knows? The way I see it, there'll be more locations than Kovir, I'm sure, and if not in the base game, in the expansions. Who knows, maybe we'll get Toussaint. Geralt is said to be in the game, so it would make sense to visit him there. Next, in regard to creatures, I just saw some bears which looked really cool in the wilderness and in the town. There was of course the manticore, which looks so cool. I think manticores have been, for many of us Witcher fans, and over the years, I made videos about this. It was some of my earliest lore videos, because when I saw manticores, I just thought they looked like one of the coolest monsters I've ever seen. I mean, we see that Geralt, well, he fought one in the Witcher 2 flashback sort of animatics, but we finally get to actually fight one in the game, which is going to be amazing. I'm so curious how this will work. I'm so curious how the combat will work. I really want to see more about how we actually play the game. We've seen like walking around in the game, going through the cities, which is, well, town, which is great, but I want to know how are we fighting, and I feel like they're still obviously working on the game, so maybe they'll show that a bit later on. And also, of course, for creatures, we have a new roach. We have Kelpie, which of course was Ciri's horse in the books. I don't know, I imagine it's not exactly her horse from the books, but it will be her horse with the same name. She's doing the same thing as Geralt, right? Which is nice that she carries that with her. And it looks amazing. I mean, we have dynamic movement, or multi-motion movement as they call it. So when her horse moves, she moves and it synchronizes. And they've built muscle meshes underneath, or muscle sort of mechanics. So it really looks like moving flesh underneath. I mean, it's amazing. It looks really, really good. In regard to performance, it's running on a PS5, and there is a video available at 4K 60 FPS. A lot of the videos are 1080p. I'm not sure if it's been upscaled or something, or if it's running natively at 4K 60 FPS. If it is, that's amazing. But really important to note, guys, is it is a tech demo, and we had tech demos for Cyberpunk, and we know the difficulties with that release, so just be careful. I think this is not a finished game yet. We have to give them more time, hope that the game comes out really well, and I'm really excited to see it. So the final part of this video that I just wanted to include was what I like to call a sort of atmosphere check, or vibe check if you want to use the newer language. And this is just my general thoughts after watching it. So, of course, I still have some reservations about Ciri, not because I dislike Ciri or I don't want to play as her, something like that, just because it's the fact she's a Witcher that I want to know how that's happened and why that's happened, and once I know that, I think I can enjoy it a lot more. I want to say, by the way, after watching it, I feel like it's going to be really good. It looks really good. It looks like The Witcher. I don't watch it and think like, oh, this feels a bit weird. I had that when I watched the Netflix trailer. Immediately, I was like, for the first season, I thought this doesn't really feel like The Witcher to me. I watched this trailer, I'm like, this is The Witcher. From the armor, to the NPCs, to the characters, to the way the characters just are talking, to the way Ciri talks, which is great for the voice actress, just to the way the game looks, to the kind of grittiness of it. It doesn't look like some sort of like fake cosplay thing. It looks like a, not anything on cosplayers, they can be amazing, but you know, you can tell that it doesn't look quite like a real thing, right? I mean, some stuff does. I don't want to be mean about cosplayers. That some of them look amazing and some of them are, you know, it's still cool, but it looks like this is a functional world is what I mean. It looks like gritty, amazing. Everything fits together really well. It doesn't seem sort of jarring to me when I look at it and think, oh, that just looks like, it just doesn't fit, you know? Everything fits. The manticore looks amazing. That's the part that has sold me the most, and I think they are very clever including that because they know Witcher fans have wanted that for such a long time. So it's going to be great, and they also know Witcher fans have really wanted to go to Kovir for a long time. I mean, it's not just me that's been saying this. I'm sure loads of other fans have been wanting Kovir since The Witcher 2 or 3 or whatever released, you know, Witcher 1 possibly. So it's exciting that we finally get to go there and see all of that too. I'm really excited to play it, actually. I'm really excited to play it. I think Ciri to me does not seem as abrasive as she is, for example, in The Witcher 3. She seems like she's matured a bit, which could be quite interesting to see. I'm excited to see how they're going to portray her character. I'm excited to see what Lan Exexter actually looks like inside the city, and I feel very positive about this. I know a lot of people have had some negative sort of thoughts about this, and I've seen comments about it, and I'm still holding myself a bit to see what happens when the actual game releases, but for now I'm really excited to play it. I'm really excited to see more. I'm excited for anything coming out. I want to do proper videos just talking about each aspect of this. Like, I want to talk more about what I feel Kovir could mean, what I feel it could be for other locations. You know, I want to talk about, for example, I'd love to go to Doblathana or Mahakam or Nilfgaard. I think they would be great locations, and maybe they're saving that for later games because apparently this is going to be a trilogy. But yeah, that's what I think so far. So in conclusion, the game looks great so far. It is a tech demo, bear in mind, but it looks amazing for what we've seen so far. It looks like to me the best game I've ever seen visually, and that might sound a bit extreme, but it's the newest technology, guys. It's Unreal Engine, the latest version with their own, just everything. It's a fantasy RPG. Of course it looks like the best game ever. I mean, imagine The Witcher 3 with all of this. I mean, who knows? It's been 10 years. Maybe we'll get a remake in another 10. But wow, it looks amazing. It looks really, really good. I think my concerns are just the Ciri lore explanations. I imagine there's going to be a soft reboot on most decisions, but it will most likely be explained. It could be like, oh yeah, you know, there's a new emperor. It's Morvan Voorhees or something like that. He took over from me. I couldn't do it anymore. Or yeah, Geralt helped me be a Witcher. Now he's gone to Tucson. Or yeah, I didn't see Geralt. I decided after I defeated the White Frost to sort of avoid him. And there could be a whole little extra quest about reconciling with him. That could be quite fun for people that had that ending. I think there are ways to explain it, and one of the ways would be not to go to Nilfgaard, and who knows, maybe they won't even recognize Ciri as she's a Witcher now if she was the Empress at some point. And to be fair, we see in the ending scenes, right, but we never truly see full Empress Ciri. Maybe she just got cold feet and decided, oh, I'm not going to do it. So there are ways to do it. It might invalidate some of our Witcher 3 decisions to a degree, but look, if you don't want to play The Witcher 4 and you want to finish your Witcher 3 journey there and think that's what happened with my Ciri, you can do that. I think this is just like sort of for people that want to see what happened next. They can believe that in their own head canon, you know what I mean? I want Iorveth to come up in the next few games. At least this game would be great. I'm sure they're going to do it because fans love it. They made a Prime 1 statue of him a few years ago now, and I feel like they know we love Iorveth. They know we want him back. I'm excited to see that. I want loads of returning characters. It'd be great. Avallac'h has got to come up somehow. He's got to come up somehow. Maybe even Gellers will come back. That'd be cool. Maybe he wanted Ciri, because he helped, but it doesn't mean he doesn't want Ciri's power to help the NL take over, right? These are all these theories I'm having just watching it. I'm excited to talk about it more. Thank you guys for watching today's video. Please subscribe for more if you want to see more Witcher videos. Like today's video if you want to support this sort of content. And also, thank you to all the members. You guys really do support these videos. It's very kind that you guys contribute directly. Obviously, everyone that just watches, everything like that, obviously also amazing. It supports all of it. But you guys, thank you so much for doing that. I really do appreciate it. And yeah, thank you guys for watching today's video, and I'll see you in the next one. Good luck on your adventures, everyone.